So what if I told you that the secret to keeping college campuses open and students safe lies in the lavatory? Mark Salinger flushes out CU Boulder's plan.
Welcome to Boulder. It's a beautiful day in a beautiful place. And yet, we're out here talking about No, seriously, we're talking about poop. This is a weird time.
There's a lot of information, actually, that is just flushed down the drain.
A time where one of the most interesting things happening on campus makes us focus inside bathrooms and on small boxes like this.
A technique that allows us to really non-invasively listen into potential community spreads of the virus.
This is Creston Mansfeld.
I'm an assistant professor in the Civil, Environmental, and Architectural Engineering Department in the Environmental Engineering program.
That's a really long title, so we'll just call him Creston. He's in charge of trying to spot COVID-19 outbreaks on campus before anyone else even knows. Yep, maybe even before the person who is infected knows.
The earlier that we can detect a infection allows more diagnostic, more testing, more direct application of resources to find that individual.
So Creston, how do you do it? Let's just say he gets a little help every time someone flushes the toilet.
What we do is we just have passive collector systems across campus.
Creston and his team test wastewater on campus for any signs of the COVID-19 virus. From there, they can narrow down where the virus is spreading, down to the specific dorm or building the sewer water came from. Testing is anonymous, so they can't tell the specific person the sample came from. Still, it can help spot outbreaks before people spread the virus to one another.
There's reports that about 40 to 80% of infections actually do shed through fecal matter.
It helps the university focus its limited testing supplies on certain parts of campus where researchers know the virus is spreading. And it's not just CU that's doing this. Wastewater treatment plants across the state, as well as other universities on the Front Range, are also testing wastewater for COVID-19. For Next, I'm Mark Salinger. Well, that was a assignment.